Fulton County DA Fani Willis's election interference case on Donald Trump will, I guess, be indefinitely postponed. This is not good news. It seems like it will not be adjudicated before the 2024 election, and that's based on something that broke in the news today. So the Georgia Court of Appeals has essentially paused the case thanks to Trump's insistence that Willis prosecute herself over her appointing Nathan Wade, someone she previously had a romantic relationship with, as the lead prosecutor. Now, as many of you probably already know, Nathan Wade is no longer on the case. After multiple hearings, the judge decided to pressure Fani Willis to do away with him. She did do away with him, and you would assume that the case would move forward. But of course, the Trump legal team is going to deploy all sorts of delay tactics, and that's exactly what's happening here. So here's how the legal back and forth has gone down. Trump and 8 of his co-defendants in the sprawling racketeering case brought by Willis's office had pushed for her to be disqualified because of a personal relationship she had with special prosecutor Nathan Wade. But Judge Scott McAfee denied the bid and said Willis and her office could continue their work on the case if Wade withdrew, which he did. Trump and a group of his co-defendants then appealed the decision. And so the appeal is part of the delay tactics, right? The problem is the delay tactics work, and prosecutors know that, prosecutors should be aware of that, which is why I wish Fani Willis, who brought this case and was elected as district attorney of Fulton County, made the decision to maybe prosecute Trump a little earlier in the game, expecting that there would be delay tactics deployed. Now, 3 judges were selected to hear the appeal. While this is, again, likely a delay tactic, it's clear that it's working. Oral arguments are tentatively expected to begin in early October. The judges have until mid-March of 2025 to make their ruling on this appeal. And so obviously there's a timing issue there. And as a result of this delay, it is unlikely that Trump will be tried on this case before the election takes place.
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you.
Now, I wanna be clear about something. This is different from the federal prosecution on election interference. That's the case that's being prosecuted by special counsel Jack Smith. And that is the case that Trump, should he be elected as president, could potentially just dismiss and pardon himself on. That's not the case with the Georgia election interference case. So I'm unclear as to what would happen should Trump get elected. He would not be able to pardon himself, but there is some possibility that we would have to wait for his term to end in order for the prosecution to continue. Now, should the appeals court rule in favor of Trump and remove Fani Willis from the case, a new prosecutor or office would have to be assigned by a state panel. And that process could give Trump even more time, right? That's gonna lead to more delays. But whoever loses the appeal can themselves appeal to the Georgia Supreme Court, and the legal back and forth would continue. So Fani Willis decided to announce that she was indicting Trump for the fake elector scheme 3 years after it happened. And look, that might be totally fine if the person that we're talking about here, the prosecutor we're talking about here, District Attorney Fani Willis, were elected in 2022 during the midterms, but she was elected in 2020. And I get that it takes a little bit of time to gather the evidence to see if you have a case to begin with. I just feel like she could have announced that she's prosecuting Trump a little earlier in the game. She made the announcement in August of last year. So look, I've said before, her decision to appoint Nathan Wade as the lead prosecutor in this case was an irresponsible move because it led to a lot of these delays. You might disagree entirely. You might think, no, Fani Willis, no wrongdoing there. But in prosecuting a former president, you gotta cross your T's and dot your I's, and you have to be super careful because you know that his legal team is looking for any potential issue. They're gonna make a big deal about it, and they're gonna do it specifically to delay the trial. And that is what we're seeing here right now. It's crazy. It's crazy that, in my opinion, out of all the indictments, the weakest one, which was the hush money case, it was the only one that ended up happening before the election, and it's the only one where Trump has been found guilty. And again, it's just weird to me that that was the first case that had any progress, because the actual important cases, in my opinion, are the classified documents case, is the classified documents case and the election interference cases, both the federal one and the one in Fulton County, Georgia. So we'll see how this all plays out, but right now things are looking real good for Donald Trump.
If you enjoyed this video, that's because of our members. They make us independent, they make us strong, and they make us honest. Become a member today by hitting the join button below.